Finish a podcast. I had to test my mic out, make sure it was working. Because now I got one of those funky setups where it'll go in and out all day, every day. And I did a test run, and it still don't mean sound right. But welcome
Don't
to the
worry,
signal.
everybody can already hear it because you already sound like you're in a hallway 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just in the bedroom. Figure. Well, welcome to the Signatures and Finisher podcast. I'm your main man, DS Walk. You know who I am. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and comment, and all those things that'll get us recognized in algorithm. I want to give all you guys a shout out because me and Double J have been seeing a lot, our YouTube shorts a lot on YouTube on the top. So make sure you guys continue to share our show and make sure you comment, okay? Because we like this feedback. We like to holler at everybody up in here. Don't make me come knock on your door and give you one of those jacked up Kevin Nash jackknife power bombs. I will. I don't care how big you are. I will do that. And
Don't
shout out
worry,
to
it won't
Kevin
hurt because
Nash.
it's the worst power bomb of all time.
Yeah, that's what I would do that to the people. I wouldn't. Y'all don't deserve the greatest power bomb of all time by Vader. So make sure you like,
Vader had a good
subscribe,
one.
and share. Joining me as usual, my tag team partner, as he stated, we're the greatest tag team that God has ever created. Better than the Usos. Who? Better than the Usos. Who?
That's what I
Oh,
wish would happen. Stop talking about him.
yeah. His name is Double J,
My name is not
and
Double
he
J.
doesn't like the Usos. Okay, no more of them talk. We don't want to talk about them. How you been?
I'm good. Good. Adjusting to dad life. But yeah, we're almost 3 weeks in, so it's getting there.
Ah, that's what's up, man. I tell you, Dad life's beautiful. Dad life is beautiful.
Keeps me entertained.
I bet you do. Some hell of a conversation you be having with your baby, man.
We've had some. We have definitely had some.
Right. And also, I want to give a big shout out to Team USA for winning gold in hockey today. If you look at me, I'm a little tired because I woke up at 9 o'clock and I watched the rest of the game or to overtime. Shout out to Jack Hughes for losing his teeth and got the game winning goal. That's my guy. I wish he was a Red Wing, but for today, I'm your biggest fan.
Well, we'll get his brother in 18 months. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I do believe that too. I do believe that. But also, when the season start back up Thursday, we ain't cool no more because you play for the Devils. Just put that out there. Put it out
He'll
there.
probably have new front teeth by Saturday, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
But I don't think he needed, man. Losing his losing two teeth and getting the game winning goal to clinch the gold medal. That's sentimental. He might as well keep it. I mean, Dan McCarthy kept his broken
Darren
teeth.
McCarthy was already a jacked up dude to begin with, like when you looked at him, so it wasn't really
Yeah.
changing anything. Hockey players now aren't like they were 10 plus years ago, where it's like the badge of honor of keeping the teeth knocked out. Like, I'm sure he'll probably go get them fixed.
I'm just saying, man, he needs to go ahead and get those teeth gold right there.
just,
Get them
just gold them
gold,
up.
man, gold, and get them, frame them boys. You know what I'm saying? Like we want gold medal and get the hockey stick too. You know what I'm saying? Get the hockey stick to go with it.
I mean, one of the teeth might still be in the hockey stick.
Yeah,
That was a
I'm
nice
quite
little
sure
snack
it
in the mouth
is.
you got.
I'm quite
I
sure it
watched the whole
is.
game. It was good.
Yes, and don't get me wrong, I was a little nervous, but
Oh, they dominated period one, then they got their asses kicked in period two and three. Like they could
yes,
barely even
yes,
control the puck, but
right. But if you want to hear more of this talk, tune in tomorrow. I'm trying to convince Double J to come on tomorrow for Double J podcast. We'll talk a little bit more about this hockey game and it's the NBA tanking, but we're not gonna talk about the NBA tanking and low management because I know how upset he gets. So we ain't gonna talk about that. But right now we're gonna talk
I get way
about
more upset than you do.
yeah, no, me too. But
Load
we're gonna
management's
talk
crap.
about some news and notes because not only we hate tanking and low management, we hate when things pivot for no pivot reason. Like, I don't understand why the WWE, the biggest company, wrestling company in the world, who comes out here and wants to let everybody know that they're the greatest wrestling company of all time, and and all they've been doing is pivoting, bad shows, pivot, bad shows, just do a whole
So
bunch of nothing.
this is what happens when you have a company that owns you that knows nothing about the business that you do. When you
Yes,
have a board of directors that knows nothing about the wrestling business, all they know is that the numbers aren't where they want them to be. So the mandate comes down of fix it. Well, how do you want us to fix it? Yeah, we don't care. Fix it.
yes,
So what are they supposed to do? And this is not me defending Triple H because he's part of the reason they're in this mess. But when you start pivoting just for the sake of pivoting because they're telling you to fix it, the only way to fix it is to put on quality shows that people are interested in. But when you keep pivoting, nobody can get invested in anything to build that up. And they'll use the excuse, oh, this person got hurt. Braun Breaker wasn't blowing the doors off of anything for anybody. And that's not just me saying that because I'm not the biggest fan. If people were that upset about Braun Breaker being hurt, they would be vocalizing it from the cheers. You'd hear about it from people that were at the shows saying, just like when they were chanting, "We want Vince." That conveniently gets bleeped out of every Raw. You never hear it, but there's more than enough people that have their own cameras going that you can hear the chants clear as day. So if Braun Breaker being out really hurt anything, we would be hearing it from the fans that are there.
yeah.
But
See,
the booking is just bad. The whole setup of what they are doing with Braun Breaker didn't make any sense. So it's actually probably in Braun Breaker's best interest that he did get hurt to where they have to adjust plans so that when he comes back, he'll be able to come back by himself, which would do him far more good. It'll do the vision far more good of him not being there. Because look at how Bronson Reed's doing now. Like
yeah,
all of them, they're getting more shine on them individually than with Braun Breaker or yeah, Braun Breaker being there.
yeah. So what Double J is talking about is there was an article. It was popped up on Google yesterday. It was talking about how Braun Breaker, who had hernia surgery, who was scheduled to be out for 12 weeks, and Seth Rollins, who's been out since last year. I want to say November,
Yeah, it was November-ish.
October, November is around there with his injury. Both gentlemen, both wrestlers, are ramping up their rehab so they can have a match against each other at WrestleMania in Vegas this year. Now, I don't know if that a smart thing to do, but if I'm either guy, and this is my personal opinion, I don't want to risk the chance of trying to come back ahead of schedule where if I'm out for 12 weeks with a hernia surgery and if I ramp up and I try to wrestle at WrestleMania, it's more than a 50-50 chance that I can re-injure my hernia and I'll be out a little longer. So to me, it makes no sense of trying to ramp up. Both guys shouldn't be ramping up here. I mean, Seth
Well,
Rollins is
Seth
already been ahead of
Rollins
schedule. He's already
should
been
be
ahead of
taking
schedule.
he should be taking every minute, every second that he could possibly get because he's injury prone to begin with.
He is, but see, he was already ahead of schedule.
Right.
They already said that he will be at WrestleMania, so there's no point of him trying to wrestle at WrestleMania if the guy that you were slated to wrestle is out. Now they
Well,
did throw out that caveat that Bronson Reed might be a potential replacement for Braun Breaker to fight Seth Rollins. And again, I said last week, we seen these two guys fight already. It would make no point of seeing Bronson Reed against Seth Rollins. It's not going to do Bronson Reed any good because Bronson Reed already got over by beating Seth Rollins and give him a fat man sandwich 15 times off the top rope. We don't need to see that no more. I need to see Bronson Reed battling for a singles title or for a tag team title.
so it's not like it was 15 years ago or longer. These guys all have guaranteed contracts. before, if you didn't wrestle, you didn't get paid. So you did have guys coming back way ahead of schedule. That's why you had all these guys that were addicted to morphine and heroin and all this other stuff, because that's how they got through matches. You have guaranteed contracts now. These guys get paid whether they're on the shelf or not. Braun Breaker, hernia surgery is a big deal. The risk of you re-tearing something or something like that is pretty high, especially doing what he does for a living. I would be taking every day of that 12 weeks. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was Triple H or Bruce Pritchard or one of those guys there that are making the call. Hey, do you think we can get you back in time for WrestleMania? Because we all know about the ticket sales. I've never heard of any venue ever having to give a discount on WrestleMania tickets to get them sold before. So that tells you that they're not in a good spot. And if they're relying on Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins to be their marquee matchup, then you've done a bad job booking, which is clearly evident. Their women's division right now is a mess of what they're going to have go on. The men's title picture, basically a mess.
Yeah. I had just looked up, what's the repercussion the coming back early from a hernia surgery. And basically, if you come back early, he would risk having a premature strain on the healing muscle of the wall. So that sounds a little serious. And
Not to
even
mention, you give
said,
yourself a new hernia all over again.
yeah, it even said, while light activity is encouraged, lifting over 10 pounds or strenuous exercise too soon can cause the hernia to return.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about, and listen, we all know the Brown Breakers world class athlete, and I get it. What I just read to you, I'm not a world class athlete. If they tell me to do light exercise, brother, I'm gonna do light exercise. I know Brown Breaker is on a different level than I am, but same rules apply, even for world class athletes. If you had a surgery like a hernia, you just got to take it easy on it. Like you just said, like Double J just said, let's say an article, it could come back. You do lift something over 10 pounds, you risk of your hernia coming back, and more likely you're gonna risk of having another hernia surgery.
The biggest problem with the pivoting, though, is they keep pivoting from their pivots that they've already made, which means you're cutting into the time that you can build a credible story. Like I read last week, they're trying to pitch Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar versus LA Knight. Why? How is that going to help either person? Like
This is
I
where
have
they
no problem with
probably
LA Knight, but Brock Lesnar doesn't have a title.
no,
LA Knight doesn't have a title.
no,
It's not going to do anything to help elevate LA Knight in any capacity whatsoever.
no.
And that's why I don't get excited for LA Knight matches, and they're not his fault. I don't get excited because he's the guy that you take him up to the finish line, he falls down. You take him up to the finish line on every race, but you never let him cross the finish line. You always take him there, and he's always just the odd man out. He's always there to either take the pin or cause the distraction that causes somebody else to win. They never let him get the big win. And he's got the charisma. He needs to work, in my opinion, on just his speech pattern. That's the only thing that I have an issue with, because if you pair The Rock up and do almost a voiceover track of The Rock and LA Knight, it's almost the
They're
same
the
person.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only issue I have with LA Knight is just your delivery. Just change your delivery of how you do things. That's it. In ring, you're great. Other than even your promos are great. Just change the delivery of how you speak. You'd be perfectly fine. But you know, other shows talking about breaking up Rhea and Io. At this point, because your women's division is such a mess in how you're handling everything, Rhea Io needs to be your WrestleMania match. That needs to be your Mega Women's match. And that wouldn't even be with a title on the line at that point. That would just be a grudge match, which people would still watch.
Yeah. I think
But
that's 100% everybody will watch because that in itself is already a built-in storyline.
mhm.
Rhea never beat Io. Io always reminds Rhea, "Hey, you never beat me." And at some point, they're gonna have to finish that. But I'm glad you pivot. See, I like that word already. I'm glad you pivot to that story because The Elimination Chamber is coming up this coming Saturday. Oh, and by the way, now that I remember, the WWE has blocked everybody in Chicago for having a watch party. I think within 5 to 10 miles of the arena, the United Center. So we talking about all the bars and restaurants. They can't have no watch parties. They've all been blocked. This goes to show you how TKO really don't know about wrestling.
Well, that and we're so desperate to sell tickets. If we don't let them do watch parties, in their head, they're probably thinking if we don't let them do watch parties, they'll go buy tickets to go see the show. No, because nobody wants to pay the money that you guys are charging for your busted ass shows because they're not entertaining.
No, that's right. So the women's elimination chamber. If you have me out with this one, Jamie, I appreciate it. I think you have Rhea, you have Alexa Bliss, you
Hmm.
have Kiana James.
Hmm.
Who else I'm missing here? You have Oscar.
She just
Uh,
qualified.
who am I missing here? I'm missing
Bailey?
two more.
No,
Um,
I'm trying to blank on it too. Shit.
let me pull it up.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised with the way they keep talking about Kiana James if they had her win the Elimination Chamber.
Well,
I don't think she actually will, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to throw that in there as a curveball because she is good in the ring.
she is good. They are very high on her. Um,
You wasted a year of her potential of having her not even on TV, period. But what do I know about that?
Tiffany. Okay, so these are the women who will be battling
Oh, yeah,
in
Tiffany's in.
the. So Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Oscar, and Kiana James. Now the sixth one will come this Monday on Raw, and we don't know who that is. I don't feel like looking up see who's going to battle. I'm quite sure whoever wins the W gonna somehow find a way to botch this whole thing. So here's the situation they pivoted from. The WWE already had a built-in story that they was working on between Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Baker early when she came to Raw when she won the title, and we seen Rhea staring at the title, telling Stephanie, "Hey, me and you, it's gonna happen one day." That's other than Io and Rhea, that was your big money match right there. They pivot from that because they put Io and Rhea in a tag team
Because
against the
we're trying to
Kabuki
push
Warriors.
the non existent tag team division.
Right. And it's just not them. They put all their top women stars that's not younger or on the come up in the tag team division. Why would you do that? Well, you want to add some credibility to women's tag team division, which, in all honesty, they did okay. But the problem is though, you do not have a legit women's tag team in the tag team division. There, a lot of these women are just thrown
Kabuki
together,
Warriors are the only one.
right? And Last Legend and Nine Jags has the potential and opportunity to be a good team. Um, so you put your three main women superstars in the tag team division. Because you did that, you left the door wide open to a lot of criticism. You gave Stephanie Vacur and Jay Cargo really no creative direction as far as good opponents. They have title reigns that don't make sense, title reigns that are boring. Jay defended her title one time in 139 days. Stephanie, I don't know. I think the best match that Stephanie has had I've seen so far was against Raquel Rodriguez. Now we got Liv Morgan who won the Royal Rumble. She's going to challenge more likely Stephanie. Now let's get back to Rhea. Rhea's Elimination Chamber. The WWE is trying to decide who will fight Jay between Tiffany Stratton or Rhea Ripley. The problem is we seen the Tiffany and the Jay Cargo, and we don't want to see that again because it was horrible. And that's not disrespecting both ladies, but their chemistry was just not there. The
It's like watching
wrestling
The
was
Undertaker
not
and The
there.
Rock. There's no good match of The Undertaker versus The Rock.
Right.
because they have no chemistry together. It's
No.
terrible every time.
Right. And it was a lot of botches in that match. And I know everybody was like, well, Jay's not that good. It's not about Jade. It's about
It's a lot about Jade.
it,
She's
it's a,
just not good.
right, but I'm not gonna fault Jay for every botch and every match she had because it takes two. So it was a lot of botches in that match. And then for the simple fact that you threw Jay this soon, that early, to fight Tiffany for the title, would kind of scratch my head. And another thing is that Tiffany been gone for 3 months. She been gone for 3 months. You gonna throw her right into the title picture? I've been gone for 3 months. She has been working with nobody. She
That
has
just
no
proves how much of a fan attraction she still is, though, that she can come back and get that immediate draw from the fans. And this is what I talk about. Certain people can do that because they have enough fan loyalty. If Cody left right now and was gone for 3 months, he could come back to that. Seth Rollins, when Seth Rollins comes back, he's going to come back to that. LA Knight, it
he
would be
can't come back,
diminished.
bro.
He would get a pop, but it wouldn't be to the level of like one of those guys or what he's used to getting now. Rhea Ripley, if she was gone for that period of time, she would get that. Even Io would not get that. She would get a pop, but it wouldn't be like a Rhea Ripley coming back pop. Like think of when Triple H first had his that quad surgery when he came back. Those are like massive pops. That's probably the loudest anybody's ever cheered for Triple H in his life.
Right. And
But
then go
certain
back and
guys
boo
can
him two
get
weeks
that,
later.
other ones can't. Tiffany coming back and getting the pops that she's still getting just shows how over she is. And again, 50% on WWE, 50% on Jade. She has no creative direction because they don't have any faith in her to do anything. And she's just been holding on to the title because there's nobody else to give it to right now because everybody else is doing something else, whether it matters or not. The whole Rio thing, it's not doing anything. They're not a real tag team. It's just two women that are slapped together like Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair.
And who they've been teasing for the breakup, but now we're not gonna see that breakup because you didn't put Charlotte over to go
Hmm.
to elimination to be in the elimination chamber. But big shout out to Charlotte because she I remember a lot of times where people criticize her moonsault, but she did it outside of the ring, or just criticize it in general because it looked awkward, it didn't look right, but she made some corrections. It looked pretty damn good, especially when she does it in the ring. I just want her not do the figure four or figure eight on a someone like Nia Jax because it doesn't look believable.
Well, that's the thing with a lot of those bigger wrestlers. If you're a technical type wrestler, don't try and do any leg holds or arm holds when their legs are basically like tree trunks and you can't wrap them up. Like it's the same as like anybody ever wrestling the Big Show. You have to fight the Big Show a different way to make it look believable, or you're just making everybody look stupid.
And
Because
or you just make everybody already feel about wrestling. Oh, this shit is fake.
exactly, like when you wrestle the Big Show, unless you're like John Cena or Kane Strong, where you can physically pick him up and make it look believable, just punch and kick the dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you're like Rey Mysterio and you could throw your whole body at him at a time, just be a little bullet that's hitting him repeatedly. That's it.
Right. So the pivot thing is that the WWE is going to have to put Rhea Ripley over because they have nothing else. They have nothing else.
Well, with Bianca
And
being
being
gone,
out, Bianca being out,
again, not sure why she waited so long to have actual surgery on her finger, but
yeah, Bianca being out, Naomi out with because she's about to have a baby, and the simple fact that you refuse to push Julia in a manner of which she could be wrestling for the title.
can you imagine we should be having a WrestleMania main event between Julia and Stephanie Vacher?
It
But
would make more
WWE is
sense.
so inept and so handicapped at everything that they do that they couldn't even figure that out.
No, the whole big idea was, you know what? They had a hell of a match in NXT for title versus title. We're going to split them up. One go to Raw, one go to SmackDown.
Yeah. And again, the whole brand split thing, they just need to end the whole thing because it doesn't make sense. They move people over when it's convenient for them for a story. Just get rid of the whole thing.
Mhm.
It's completely unnecessary. But I know if they did that, to be like, well, then having two titles doesn't make a lot of sense. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. So get rid of everything that says world
Hmm.
and
Hey,
go.
I have a brilliant idea. Why don't you open WCW back up? Operate as a separate company, and then you can
I'm
put the
I'm
prime focus as it should be.
I'm gonna need you to stop making sense and start thinking their logic.
Oh, I know why they wouldn't do it because TKO is too cheap. I mean, did you know Cody had to have pyrotechnics written into his contract?
Yes,
That he
because
has
other
a
than that, he
certain
would never
level of
got it.
pyrotechnics in his entrance so that they didn't screw him on like having a grand entrance. And I know they would
Again,
never open WCW back up because they'd say, "Oh, logistically, now we're paying for double the semis and double the gas." And yeah, and you know how much more money you would make when you could properly showcase your talent?
it's it's like what we're seeing right now with Skydance, Paramount, Netflix, how they're both battling for Warner Bros. Discovery. Skydance and Paramount want to give them straight cash, and the only thing they talk about is, oh, we want the other cutbacks, the cutbacks, the cutbacks. Whereas Netflix is talking about growth. What do you think which one the board of directors want to go with? I think they want to go with growth because Warner Bros. Discovery don't want to see none of their people get fired or laid off. They want their people to grow with Netflix, and
Well,
that's
and
all.
Netflix can say whatever they want about growth and this and that. Half of that staff would get chopped up.
Oh well, yeah,
Anytime you have a big merger, they're always going to let people go because they're going to say, well, we have to recoup money. We have to recoup as much as we
right,
can.
right. But we all know that it's not. Well, I don't say we all know. I'm just gonna say eventually, yes, those cutbacks are gonna happen, but I don't believe it will happen right now because if you're Netflix, you're gonna want to keep them around so that you get a better understanding what about the WB and what they do and everything. Whereas far as Paramount, no, no, man, once merger go through, everybody 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 department fire.
What
We
I
not
would do in
having
that whole
nobody.
thing, I'd tell Netflix, we're stripping out DC Comics and we're stripping out all of the DC Comics related movies. You can, if you want to buy the rest of it, you can buy the rest of it, and we'll sell DC and all the IPs movie related to Paramount because that's all Paramount really wants is the
Yeah,
DC.
yeah, they
They
don't
won't
want
say
that other
that.
stuff.
They won't
Of
say
course
that,
not.
but they really want DC Comics and the
Yeah,
DC movie rights
yeah, because they
is what
know
they
they
want.
can. Yeah, because they know they can redo it, rebrand it, and make bank off of it.
Batman's the most popular comic book character in the world. If you properly market the movies, there's no reason Batman shouldn't be bigger than the Avengers movies. Avengers movies are made up by characters that most people had no idea who they were. That's why they had to go get big name talent to play the characters. Nobody cares about Captain America. Dude had wings on the side of his head. Nobody cared about Thor, so they had to go find a big jacked Australian guy.
But
Nobody
everybody
still
know who
cares about
Batman
Thor.
is.
Exactly.
Everybody know who Batman is. Everybody know who Superman is. Don't matter who the player. But get back to the wrestling. So basically, what we're saying is that the WWE is pivoting to Jay Rhea versus Jay at WrestleMania. We might get that match, and, for the sake of argument, we have no problem with that. I don't have a problem. I'm quite sure Double J don't have a problem with it because anytime Rhea's on the screen and anytime Jay's on the screen and anytime you get the belt off of Jay, this would be the one.
I'm a very happy person if I can have Jade and Rhea on the screen at the same time.
Yes, yes, and quite honestly, I'm being honest here. If they pivot to smack to that match, if they pivot to that match, it will work. It would be better for Jay because Jay would actually be in there with someone who will lead her.
Yeah, but
That's all I'm
Rhea's
saying with
very prone to
even.
a lot of botches too. That's the problem.
Recently, yes. Yes, she has been. But
And from a story perspective, you run into a problem. Are you going to let Rhea run in there and squash Jade? Because then you're kind of throwing
that's
that investment down
right.
the window with Jade. But at the same time, for a story perspective, you have to have somebody that can go in and kick her ass for the whole "I'm that bitch" routine.
Right. And that's why I was getting to for story purpose, they gonna have to hit up out of all the stories that they can do at WrestleMania, this is the one they gotta hit a home run on because you can't have Rhea going there to beat her in 3 minutes. Because now you, like you said, not only you kill everything that Jay has built up, but you basically you just killed her character. You
Yeah.
killed her. So they're gonna have to somehow take their little pens and pencils and gonna have to make this like one of their best storytelling that they can do this year.
Well, the only way
They're gonna
they'd be
have
able
to.
to get around that is from a disqualification. Somebody else getting involved and getting somebody disqualified.
So let's put it out there. So who all got? So we basically be saying it could be Bianca, it could be Raquel Rodriguez, it could be Roxanne Perez, it can be hell. How about if I throw a wild card? It could be Io Sky.
Yeah. Depends on where they are in the story with the whole Io Sky Rhea thing, though.
I mean, I would think that towards the end. I mean, really, you are at the end of their story.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's WWE, so you have to realize they're probably not going to do
Oh,
anything
oh,
because
their logic. Oh, okay. So basically, according to their logic, they'd be going to overtime.
yeah, because Triple H hides ineptitude by the phrase long-term storytelling. Um, Even though most of his stories take place from one pay-per-view to another and then it's over. Look at every match John Cena had last year. Like his stories take place. Even AJ Styles Gunther, it was the course of one pay-per-view to another and the story was over. But that's long-term storytelling.
I think Rhea got to beat her and win the title, but she can't beat her clean.
That's what I'm
Beat her
saying.
clean.
Somebody's
Yeah,
got to get
yeah,
involved
right.
because if they don't, you're going to either make Jade, you're going to kill Jade's character, which means the investment of giving her all that money is a complete waste of money, which no matter what, it basically still is because you had to shield her by not putting her in the ring, but also showing no faith in her to even have her involved in any storylines. And when she does wrestle, she's injuring your talent. So
Right. Because I was about to, because I was about to say, well, maybe they can, maybe Rhea can beat her clean, and they just build Jay back up. But I don't have faith in Triple H even doing that because they killed the Fiend and they couldn't build him back up.
they didn't want to build him back up. Bray Wyatt is a severe case of how paranoid WWE is when you create something bigger than anything that they could imagine because they couldn't control him because he copyrighted all that stuff. WWE didn't copyright it, he copyrighted all of it. So they couldn't control it, which means they didn't want him making insane money. So look what they did. Roman Reigns comes back out of nowhere and they basically steal the title from Bray Wyatt as soon as he wins it at what Extreme Rules and was that 2020?
Extreme Rules in the during the pandemic. And you
Yeah.
know what's so funny about that whole thing? Even just when it comes to triple threat matches, that well, the champion lost his title, but he didn't get pinned. We still want to make him look strong, but he still lost. Yeah, but he was just strong in his loss, but he still lost. Yeah, but he didn't get pinned. He still lost.
Yeah.
So a guy like Bray Wyatt who lost his title to Roman Reigns, and for some reason he never got his rematch, but Braun Strowman got rematches after that, but no Bray Wyatt.
Well, and that's the thing with WWE. There's no consistency to their storytelling. They just throw something out there and you're expected to just go with it.
Yeah,
That's my biggest thing. Like again, Jade didn't defend her title for over 100 days. Dominic was over 30 days. Yeah, Dominic had a legit injury, but still wasn't defending the title. And they just pick and choose. But yet somebody else gets hurt, and they're like, "Oh, yep, we're going to take the titles off of you and move it to somebody else because we know you're going to be out for 90 days." 90 days doesn't mean anything when Jade didn't wrestle for over 100 days.
It just to me, man. It to me, if I'm a wrestler, man, I wouldn't want to be champion at all because you just don't. You won't never defend your title, and then would you have any confidence of them trying to tell the story you defending your title? I mean, I hate saying this. We seen how they did with Cody on both runs. We seen how they did with Roman during his run. Well, Roman to a extent because Roman was part time, and that played into the creative advantage because they didn't have to write Romans all the time. That was up to Paul Heyman and his ideas. So that got lucky with that one. But anybody else, it don't matter you from the men or the women. If you are a champion, you you got to prepare yourself that the creative or the direction that they're going to story they're going to try to tell by you being champion is going to be really suck.
Well, you have a part timer that's about to be in your main event for WrestleMania and it's probably going to win the title.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, they won't have a problem with that. But you know who will have a problem with that? The fans and the wrestlers in the back.
Hmm. That's why I've been abundantly clear. If you're a part timer, I'm using you as like an event. You're an attraction to me. Don't expect to be in anything that could put you within a title. Most likely not going to happen unless there's a really good story purpose of doing it. And Roman Reigns versus CM Punk is not anything that I'm like, oh wow, I need to go see that match. CM Punk is not the CM Punk he was 10 years ago athletically. Even CM Punk 10 years ago was a shell of what he was in the early 2000s. Now, again, you're talking 20 years of time, happens to pretty much anybody. But when you're the best in the world at something, you're usually not the one saying you're the best in the world. Only two people have ever said that I've heard say they're the best in the world that actually believe it legitimately, and that's LeBron James and CM Punk. Neither one are the best in the world. Kenny
Hey,
Omega also said that about CM
no,
Punk too. He's like, nobody should ever be calling themselves the best in the world. People tell you you're the best in the world.
yeah, but you know what, man? I don't have no issues with that just because I look at it as like they say that to hype themselves up. That's all I see it as.
But
And it
CM
is
Punk's
cool,
matches are so bad
right?
now,
And,
and
and
they've
and
been
it's
so bad.
and it's cool that you think you the best in the world. You the best in the world at what you do. That's what Chris Jericho say. He said I'm the best in the world at what I do, and that's fine. I had no issues with that. The only issue that I would say I would have is with if you're saying you're the best in the world, I expect you out to wrestle like you are the best in the world. Put on 5-star classic matches, and if I don't get that, then I have to question you of being the best in the world.
Well, that's my whole point.
Yeah.
CM Punk's best matches have come in AEW. He hasn't wrestled any really great matches in WWE since he's been here.
I liked him, the Drew McIntyre feud. I liked the
Yeah, but that
little
was carried
short
by
feud.
Drew. The
Yeah,
whole thing,
I,
even in the ring.
yeah, but both guys, they told a hell of a story. I liked the feud he had with Seth Rollins, even though it was cut short. I liked it because it was based off of Rollins telling Punk that you're never going to win the title. I would do everything I can to make sure you don't win, and he did until Rollins got hurt. I like CM Punk. I don't hide that. I don't deny that. I am the CM Punk fan.
I will never be a CM Punk fan.
And
I can't respect anybody that had mutton chops.
hey, man, I mean, we all had those weird hair issues. That's what I'm gonna call
That's not a weird hair issue. That was by design and by choice. And the dude has a Pepsi logo tattooed on his shoulder.
it. Hey, man,
Like,
he
come on.
loves Pepsi.
No,
That's
just no.
so what? You prefer Coca Cola?
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, what kind of asshole gets a Pepsi logo tattooed on his arm?
CM Punk.
Like, usually that's like I lost a bet and this is the punishment. But
Hmm.
nobody's going to say, go get the Pepsi logo tattooed on your shoulder. Like, come on.
Hey, man, some of us go out here, we get tattoos that make you kind of question why did you get it back then? I don't know, man.
I mean, the Cobra Commander and the Cobra
It's
logo
cool.
on the other shoulder, I'm like, okay, that's fine. You like GI Joe, you like GI Joe. I'm cool with it. But the Pepsi logo, it's probably a big Michael Jackson fan too.
Hey, it's nothing wrong being a Michael Jackson fan.
I'm
King
not
of
saying there
pop.
is. I'm just saying he's probably a big Michael Jackson fan.
But he's straight edge, so I doubt it. Again, I'll have no problem with CM Punk being champion
I
because
don't
I
have a
know
problem with him
CM
being
Punk.
champion right now because they haven't put anybody else in a position to make it worthwhile to the point that you have a part timer that's wrestling in your main event. And again, that's a booking problem.
Right. And the other reason why I don't have a problem with Punk being champion because out of everybody in the company, he is 100% aboard on yeah, let's get some of these young talent here and let's put them over. 100%, I guaranteed you he had no issues if he would lost to Brown Breaker for the title. None. Punk's all about the young talent. That goes to show you that that locker room, it's not a lot of guys who's about that. So I had no issue because plus one thing about Punk is that Punk will never be your long term champion and he knows that. He's always going to be the guy who's going to have a short title run or just a nice run where okay, I had this nice run. Now I can go back to just being me, or I should say I just go back to doing what I was doing before I was champion. So I have no issue with that at all. Um, what I will say though is that I don't ever want to see CM Punk versus Roman Reigns after this WrestleMania. I don't want to see this match after WrestleMania again. I don't. Don't make no sense. I'm so tired of it's for what? About a grudge? Yeah, it's a built-in story, something that happened 10, 15 years ago. Cool. You know when that should have been settled? 10, 15 years ago.
Well, now they're going to make it about Paul Heyman from last year, is all it's going to be about.
Oh yeah, when he said, "Oh, you stole my wise man."
Hmm.
I thought Seth Rollins stole your wise man.
Yeah.
uh
It's, I mean, WrestleMania sounds like a dull show right now. Like, they've
WrestleMania
barely
sound
even they've barely even announced any matches for it. But even the matches that are there, I'm like, I just don't care.
WrestleMania sounds like just an event that there's really no hype to it. There's really no reason to watch it. It's
That's
not even about
because
the
they keep.
matches.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier. They keep pivoting so much and flip flopping on what they want to do. They're not building up any stories that people are going to care about seeing.
Yeah. But let's take it a step further. You said it 15 minutes ago, and you've been saying it for the last month or so. Why nobody hyped for WrestleMania? Who the hell want to pay those prices for it?
Hmm?
I mean, for the first time, was it last week, this week? You got a BOGO coupon code. That goes to tell you how desperate they are to get their numbers up. That tells you how much they really know about their audience. Now, also tells you that these guys effed up big time.
Well, a lot of people made these big contracts with WWE without knowing who was running WWE. Like they're looking at it like this was still a Vince McMahon show, and that's the kind of stuff that they were paying for. And it's like, no, Vince isn't there. You should know that. You're getting the TKO stripped down. We TKO operates WWE like a hedge fund. Take all of the cost out of it and try and minimize as much as you possibly can and eke out every single penny to the point of it's going to work for a little bit, but once you destroy all these relationships with ESPN and Netflix because they're not getting any return on their investment, you're going to have nothing left and they're going to be forced to sell. And then whoever buys it is going to have to do all the damage control and reputation building of bringing back a good product. Because again, like I've said on multiple shows, the pomp and circumstance of pro wrestling and the grandeur has been completely stripped out by TKO. The elaborate entrances, the pyro, all the stuff that made like these guys coming out a big deal isn't there anymore. Cody had to get it. Like the only two guys I can think of that really have decent pyro are Cody and Penta. Everybody else is just like a little light show that they play with their video package. And most of these guys don't even have video packages anymore. It's just their name flashing on the back screens now.
So, two more things before we start talking about the territories. Number one, WWE is heading to Italy for the first time for Clash in Italy on May 31st at the in Italy. I can't say the name of the arena, man. They're going to be in Turin, Italy. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm starting to believe, and this is just my theory, because I think TKO kind of realizes that we, the people in the United States are hip onto their BS. I would not be surprised if TKO and the WWE start doing even more Raw SmackDowns overseas, because they know that not only we're hip to their crap, but we're not going to spend all that money for a product that's not producing good shows at all. I would not be surprised if they start doing more and more, not only PLEs, but more and more Raw SmackDowns overseas, because we all know that they want the WWE, and TKO know that they will spend at what cost to go to a WWE live event.
The next step for TKO is they're going to start forcing the wrestlers to wear sponsored badges on their gear. I mean, it's so bad that the tables that they break now have Slim Jim logos on them. Slim Jim has been a sponsor with WWE from what, like 91, 92, when Macho Man started doing Slim Jim commercials?
Yeah.
And you need to squeeze more money out of Slim Jim? Like, how much money does Slim Jim have for marketing that they're slapping Slim Jim logos on tables? I haven't had a Slim Jim since I was a teenager. I haven't seen anybody that I can recall eating a Slim Jim since I was a teenager.
Hey, I had one 3 months ago. One bad. It still tastes the same.
I mean, that's fine, but I'm sure half of it's probably chemicals that you're eating too.
I just tried it. Yeah, I just tried it because it looked nice. But then, the next day,
I'm not faulting you for it, but I'm just like, who eats Slim Jims? I don't see anybody ever like eating a Slim Jim.
So Slim Jims. But think what it is for. Slim Jims one of those quick snacks.
Well, of course.
That you're gonna pay for the next morning.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and that's not a knock on Slim Jim. Hey, if we get sponsored by Slim Jim, I eat all Slim Jim every day.
I have no problem with Slim Jim. I'm just saying I haven't had one since I was a teenager, but like Vince owned WWE for decades. You never saw advertising in the ring. You never saw advertising on the turnbuckles, the ropes, the guardrails, any of that stuff. TKO is like, and I know it's that Mark Shapiro guy. He already said it. Well, we think, Vince priced it for families. We think we can eke out some more money out of this. It's probably him saying, slap sponsorships on everything. Treat it like it's UFC. UFC is not WWE. It's two totally different business models. You want to know why your fans are walking away? It's because you don't understand what you own. And you're not trying to understand what you own. You're trying to turn WWE into UFC, and it's not going to work.
TKO only know how to do one thing and one thing only, and that is what's that word looking for? Any combat sport like UFC and the WWE.
Well, who was one of the biggest shit talkers of WWE for years? Dana White. Right. Dana White.
Right.
And now he talks about WWE like it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, he hates wrestling. He never appreciated it. He never respected it. So it's kind of like, damn, Dana.
But this is the same guy that owns a sport where grown men want to fucking slap each other. Like I don't get it.
I did see that, by the way.
Power slap is the dumbest thing. Like people are like, oh, it's just a slap. I don't think you realize what happens to you when your brain shuts off. You get knocked out, your brain shuts off. Like Power Slap
I
is more
don't
dangerous than UFC.
I don't think they'll understand that if you slap me that hard, I'm gonna have to go to the locker room. I'm gonna have to go grab something right quick.
I mean, just the physical damage. Power Slap is far more dangerous than UFC.
Yeah,
But that's
it
a whole
is.
different
I
topic.
mean, look, man, it it's all about money. All of a
Oh, it
sudden,
is.
Dana White's the biggest WWE fan. Really.
But I mean, everybody can see how much money that WWE is pulling in. They announce every time they get this major signing or we struck a deal with. I mean, look at the whole ESPN thing. I still have YouTube TV. I still do not have ESPN integrated into YouTube TV. I looked it up and it's not expected to happen until the end of the year. So I refuse to give WWE any money, so I will not pay for the app. So what do I do every time? I go and I just start a new BS Fubo subscription, and then I cancel it after the free trial, and I just watch the PLEs that way. Can I afford ESPN? Yes. But I just boycott basically all sports for the most part, and I'm not going to give ESPN any money because Disney has more than enough money already. So I just go make a Fubo account, do the free trial, watch the PLE, cancel the free trial, and move on with my day.
There you go.
Takes me 5 minutes.
There you go. Also, if you haven't seen, there has been a Royce Keys sighting. He was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, and I enjoyed it. But the thing that I want to say is that that was the best opportunity to get to know a wrestler and introduce him to the WWE. If I'm a WWE, I will kind of try to use Stephanie's podcast or any podcast. I'll have one of my wrestlers go on there and introduce himself to the WWE universe and let he or she know what they're all about.
Royce
To
Keys,
me,
congrats. That's the biggest push you're going to get in your career with WWE. So make the most of that podcast that nobody
yeah,
watched.
I mean, I
Besides,
watched it. It was cool to see
besides you,
Dawn.
I don't think anybody else has probably watched it.
Well, I watched it because she had Royce Keys on. Then a week before, I think it was, or was it AJ last week or 2 weeks ago? Um, I mean, I'll call it 2 or 3 episodes.
I try
I
and
put
watch
like
them, but
I
I've
put it
always
like
said
this.
Stephanie's
I'll
great to
watch
look
that.
at. Her nails are, or her voice is just nails on a chalkboard to me. I can't stand to listen to her talk.
Eh, that's where you. I don't have them, but that's where you put those earbuds in. You don't got to hear
Then what would be the point of watching a podcast if I have earplugs in?
it. So you got to hit that. I'm just playing. No, but I put it like this. I'd rather watch that than watch Unreal.
I mean, I would think that that's a fair statement.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I've
watched
watched
Stephanie
Cody's a
Man's
couple
podcast.
times. Cody's isn't terrible.
Cody's is okay. Undertaker, you look, man. You know how I feel about athletes or anybody and any type of athlete having a podcast. It's okay, it's cool, but you're not gonna answer tough questions because that's your boy, that's your girl, and you don't want to put them out there like that. It's just not gonna happen.
Right.
Right. So I mean, ain't no knock. I mean, if Cody Rhodes would came up and said, "Hey, Jamie, Sean, can y'all run my podcast for me?" Okay, yeah, cool. How much you paying us? Gotcha. We will be on the road every day doing your podcast.
I just want to know the logic in putting Royce Keys on the same show as Obafemi.
I don't know. Hmm.
Because you're certainly not going to. WWE has a long track record of never letting an outside guy look bigger one of their own in-house guys. So they're certainly not going to let Royce Keys look bigger than Obafemi.
It depends on. Are we talking about? Are they both going to be on the same show?
Yeah, they're both on SmackDown.
No. Excuse me. Obafemi will be on Raw this Monday.
Well, this Monday, but he's listed as like a SmackDown guy.
Now, will he still be a SmackDown guy if he, let's say, wrestled Brock Lesnar?
Brock is a part-time guy that they just use
Oh
interchangeably on everything.
wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brock's not a Raw guy. He can bounce between both shows. He's a free agent.
Hmm.
Okay. Um. Here's my pushback on that. Obafemi is your future champion, world heavyweight champion, future WWE world heavyweight champion.
Not
I
too
don't see
distant future.
right. I don't see Royce Keys being that.
Exactly.
So I don't see whatever they do. I don't see Royce Keys being bigger than Oba.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're playing right into what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like
So I mean, you can have two badasses on SmackDown, even if they're big as them, big as those two guys are.
I just think that he passed up a much better situation for himself in AEW, but
The problem with AEW is he had a ceiling.
he's got an even lower ceiling in WWE.
I think he has an opportunity to maximize himself in the WWE compared to in AEW. If he stayed in AEW, he will be with the ops. He would be like an op slash bodyguard, or we're not going to see him on TV on television. Now we don't see him now,
I was
but
gonna say
we don't see him now.
it's been a
But
month.
I kind of think right now for Hobbs, I think he'll be a lot better in the WWE compared to the AEW. I mean, again, I mean, like just on the creative side, oh shit, nah. Just on the marketing side, he'll be just fine in WWE. I keep thinking both shows creatively, it just ain't good right now. The only thing that's I can say about AEW that they're doing a lot better than WWE is that their main event scene is we know who the major players are.
Mhm.
And they did the one thing that they should have done, but they finally did it, is that they made Swerve Strickland a heel. And which he should have been a heel about 6 months ago. He should have been a heel when he came back from his injury. They did that part right. Made him a heel. MJF is your champion because you can't have every freaking guy a baby face. You can't. I mean, it's cool that MJF is your champion, but damn, he needs a guy kind of on the same level underneath him, a heel that can be part of the main event scene. He made Swerve a heel. I like to see what they're gonna do with Swerve as a heel this time around. I'm quite sure they set up him Kenny Omega once Kenny Omega comes back from Japan playing video games. That's more important than being at your big pay per view Revolution. Revolution, play video games. I don't know.
Was he getting paid money to play the video game? So was he getting more in that revenue than he would by being at the show?
He probably would have. And everybody should know that Kenny Omega, if you on
You know who
YouTube,
needs to go to AEW? Xavier Woods.
how about Kofi Kingston too?
I
How
mean,
about just a New Day just go to AEW?
I've been pretty clear on my feelings of the New Day for the time we've been doing this show. They
Not
can
as
just
a
go bye
team.
bye.
That's not as a team.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Have them
that.
both go to AEW, not as a tag team though.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I got one more. I got one more.
Xavier Woods is a good example, in my opinion, of what's going to happen to Royce Keys. He's just always going to kind of be there. Because what has Xavier Woods ever done that wasn't a tag team title?
Nothing,
Nothing.
and he's not even there.
Yeah.
Hey, but rumor has it though they are building that feud up between them and those brothers. I wonder how that feud's turned out. How's that build up going?
Must be selling some tickets. People are really high on it because it's only been done like a dozen times beforehand.
Yeah, I
This is
mean,
WWE's problem. They don't develop talent. For all the talents they talk about that, oh, we've got this, we've got that, they don't develop main event scene talent. They
mm,
ride these guys until they're beaten dead horses. I mean, John Cena had to carry that company for 15 years with almost nothing to work with, trying to build up new guys that they were just the wrong guys until you got the AJ Styles in there, you got the Daniel Bryans and stuff like that in there. But they refuse to push. Like Carmelo's been on the main event roster or the main roster for over a year. What are you doing with him? Ilya, I'm not going to hold anything against that because he was hurt for almost a year. But two guys right there that should already be making that push into main event status talent. Braun Breaker, they're basically forcing him down everybody's throats, same as they did with Roman Reigns beforehand. But they don't do nearly enough. So when they get into a situation like this, oh, our plans are all completely out the window because Braun Breaker got hurt. You should be able to look at the next guy and say, okay, you're the next guy up. This is what we're doing now. But they can't do that. They have to alter one thing, which then alters their entire timeline because they don't build up enough main event level talent. They want to keep everybody in the mid card and then just pick and choose who they want to, just like they did with Roman Reigns. Vince pushed him so hard down everybody's throat that you had to like him or else he was going to keep pushing him harder. And then he got exposed. You put him into a feud with John Cena. John Cena destroyed him verbally to the point that you couldn't take him seriously, which was the best thing that happened to him because then he got Paul Heyman. The only reason people cheered for Roman Reigns is because of Paul Heyman. It's not because he's a great wrestler or that he was great on the mic, because he's not. It was because of Paul Heyman. And then when that act got stale, what did they do? They brought in Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn basically carried the bloodline the entire time he was in it.
yeah, yeah. I got nothing to say on that, man.
And then you still have to worry that Sami Zayn might end up getting the title at some point this year. That's a whole nother concern you have to have. Because nobody wants to see that. And I thought I was the only one. You can go online and see I am not the only one. People hate him far more than I do. I don't hate him. I just don't think he's done anywhere near enough to be a champion on the show. But there are people that really hate this guy.
Sami Zayn is your average Joe. He talks like your average Joe. He comes out and he wrestles like your everyday man. He comes out and he cut his promos like an everyday man. And he mopes around like your everyday man. This is the same guy who had the perfect opportunity to go to the Elimination Chamber match and finally get a rematch with Drew McIntyre. McIntyre handed him a victory and he still messed it up. But I want to talk about a different match because I know you didn't see it. I'll call a little glimpse of it. It was MJL versus Zilla Fatu at House of Glory, and MJF of course won because you gotta have the champion go over. And I gotta say, Jamie, Zilla Fatu might be the best wrestler in the Fatu family.
I just want to know
And
why you think I
and
haven't
that's
seen this
and
match.
that's not even high. And that's not even high.
I mean, Zilla is definitely good, and I did see the match, by the way.
Oh, you
I'm a
did?
Zilla Fatu fan. Yes, I'm a Zilla Fatu fan.
Oh,
You didn't bring it up to me before the show until now. You just kind of trying to blindside me with this.
well, I figured,
Um,
look, you're a dad, so I figured you want you had your baby girl
let's put it
and the
this way.
original
I've
double
played
game was
like an
chilling.
hour's worth of video games since she's been born. Like all I do is
Oh
like
my.
hold this baby because like that's all I want to do. So all I can do is like watch TV when I'm holding the baby. So I mean, I work and then I hold the baby. instead of playing video games, I'm holding a baby and now I'm watching more wrestling. So kind of screwed myself because now I'm watching wrestling that I don't even want to watch. But no, I did see the House of Glory match. Zilla Fatu, that's a fair statement. I would say Umaga's probably still better. Um, Jamal, if you will, whatever makes you feel better. 3 minute warning was sweet. Like, I don't care.
I'm
3 minute
never gonna
warning was
call it.
great.
I'm not gonna call Umaga Jamal.
Umaga
Yeah,
was probably still the best, but Zilla would definitely be close. Um, it's only a matter of time before he gets over to the WWE. I'm
I
actually surprised they
mean,
haven't signed him already. Because if you look at some of the other guys they've signed, like who wants to watch Tonga Loa? Like the dude is terrible.
Tala.
Yeah, Tama Tonga is perfectly fine, but Tonga Loa is atrocious. What's his face? Hercule, whatever his name is now. I can't even remember what they call him now, but
Who? Jeff Cobb?
no, not Jeff Cobb. That's JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb, whatever. No, the big tall one. His name was like
Oh,
Hercule or
Tala.
whatever.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
Tala.
that dude, like, talk about a waste. Like,
No,
he can't
it's
do
not just
half
a
of what the Big Show
waste.
used to be able to do.
It's not just a waste. They gave my man the jacked up name. They just took tall and put an A out of the L.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I can't even think of what his name is, but like his name used to be like Hercule or something like that. Um, the MFTs are just so bad. But the
Nah,
Zilla
it's
Fatu MJF match was good. I
yeah,
mean,
it was.
MJF is one of those guys that he's gonna work with anybody and make them. He has a Shawn Michaels talent to him that he can work with anybody and make it look good.
He's a throwback talent, man, where like I truly believe that MJF always be in character as outside of the ring.
Oh, he is. I've seen interviews. Like you can go look at who was it? Somebody was interviewing Chris Van Vliet, and they asked him like, "Who's the worst interview you've ever had?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know if I've had one." He goes, "The most difficult one I've ever had is MJF, where and they play snippets of it. I've watched the actual interview, but like he ordered room service in the middle of the interview, went to the door, got the room service, started eating during the interview. I've seen like in airports and stuff where people come up to him, he stays in character like 100% of the time.
And that's the old school way.
Well, and that's why I've talked to other people and I'm like, if more people acted like the wrestlers in the 80s, you could have another megastar. MJF to me is a current nowadays Roddy Piper. That's 100% who he reminds me of. And he's not quite as fiery as Roddy Piper was, but the quick wit, the being able to talk, the way he wrestles, things like that, he's very much Roddy Piper.
I don't know who he reminds me of, but I'll take your word for that. I just look at him as a throwback wrestler from the 80s,
But
where
he's 100% what wrestlers need to be now. Everybody wants to do social media, and I get it. Like they can monetize their social media, they can make money off of it, they can do this, they can do that. But unless you're doing some like Mandy Rose level social media where it's like, hey, I'm just going to quit being a wrestler and do this because I'm making $1 million a month or something, like you're not going to make that much. And again, MJF looks nothing like Mandy Rose, so he's certainly not going to make that much. So just like embrace the characters. That's my biggest thing that annoys me is like everybody's like part of the reason the Undertaker had to retire. Are you going to read a tweet from the Undertaker that's in character?
oh,
Like, come on now. That
nope,
would be the worst thing in the
he
world.
shouldn't be he shouldn't be sending no tweets at all.
Exactly. And that's where you get into the issue of, oh, well, John Cena can tweet out for Cena Nation and have all the little kids happy and stuff. But then this guy, like, no, Bray Wyatt, you're not going to tweet anything out because the Fiend wouldn't do that. Like,
Nah, if the Undertaker gonna tweet, it should be said something. Rest in peace.
yeah, but then you're supposed to get the visual of the Undertaker sitting there with his flip phone trying to send a
Right,
text from like 2002. Like, come on.
right. Or the visual of the Fiend out here trying to figure out how to send a tweet, but yet he can't figure out how to use a fax machine.
Like, think if the Undertaker was only in like the 15th year of his career right now. that character would basically be dead in the water.
Yeah. The only character that the Undertaker that would survive now, it was what, 15 years ago now, would be the American Badass.
Hmm. Bray Wyatt would be able to pull off the social media stuff now because he could still do it as Bray Wyatt, like the Firefly Funhouse tweets,
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah,
But you wouldn't be able to do it with the Fiend.
no,
And for the Undertaker, I think he just kind of got lucky that his age and things like that just kind of lined up with where everything was, and he was able to bow out somewhat gracefully, still having some of the worst wrestling matches of all time in Riyadh, because
yeah,
that whole thing.
yeah.
But
We got four old
yeah,
guys in the ring.
you look at some of these things like you want to bring the kayfabe back into pro wrestling. You don't need to pull the curtain back on everything. And I've heard Triple H, well, there's dirt sheets and all these shows that want to talk about what happens behind the scenes. So we're just taking advantage of it and doing the same thing. Yeah, okay, I get that. But at the same time, we're doing it as fans. You're doing it to make money off of it. And I don't want to say exposing the business, but people go to see the magicians. They don't go watch the shows about how the tricks are done.
Right. The one thing though I could say by MJF, what I love by MJF is that he has the rare ability, something like Shawn Michaels and actually Stone Cold Steve Austin, where he's a heel today, but next week he could bounce and be a face, and then just go back and bounce again being a heel.
Well,
He
yeah,
has that
he's
type
got
of
the anti-hero
versatility.
complex.
Yeah, but
John Cena
he's
had it.
yeah, and the thing is that he's not that he's not that anti. He's just he tell you I'm a heel, like I'm not anti heel. I'm a straight up heel,
Hmm.
but I have that skill set where if I need to be a baby face for that 1 hour or for that 15 minutes, I can do it.
Well, it's because he can talk.
Yes.
That's what gives him that ability to do it. John Cena was the same thing. I used to tell somebody all the time John Cena could be the next Stone Cold if he wanted to be. Because Stone Cold was on that same thing. He was doing heel stuff all the time, but because he was so over, people loved it. John Cena, half the audience is booing him, half of them are cheering him. He could play that if he wanted to go heel earlier, he could have. Vince wouldn't allow it, I guarantee it, because he was selling too much merch. But MJF staying in character like that all the time makes it believable. But because he's so good on the mic, he can sway an audience into his point of view and being a baby face, and then 5 minutes later say something and get them all to boo him all over again.
Yeah. And not only that, by him staying in character, he doesn't lose focus of his character. Like him staying in character a long period of time, it it helps his promos.
Hmm.
To the point where you be like, damn, I think that's really him saying that. You know what I'm saying? By him staying in character, it helps his entire character. And the one thing I also about MJF is that no matter what through the years, he stays the same because the type of his type of character never gets worn out. It never. He can refresh it. Yes, he might add a different scarf. He might get rid of the suit, put the leather jacket on and some jeans, but other than that, his character does not change.
Well, we've talked about characters like Jericho, Undertaker that can refresh, and it's not always coming back with like with Jericho. It was cutting his hair. He went from the long hair to having like that almost faux hawk kind of thing, not faux hawk, but like that faux pompadour kind of thing going on, to coming out with the sparkly coats and then giving himself, the nicknames, the Ayatollah, Rock and Rolla, this and that, all the stuff he did. That's how you freshen up a character without going with like, hey, we're going with a complete like basically the Street Profits. Hey, we're gonna put you guys back in developmental. We're gonna have you do something completely different and we're gonna bring you back out. Slight alterations. Undertaker, even when he went from like American Badass back to like old school Undertaker, he wasn't coming out with the great big tie on. He just came out with the long leather coat, had like the one piece on, the big cowboy hat, and kind of made it subtle changes, and then kind of mixed all of the previous versions of the Undertaker character into one character. So he did talk more than the early on Undertaker, but it wasn't full biker mode American Badass Undertaker. MJF, because he's so good at talking, he can, like you said, he can switch up his scarf, and he'll reference the fact that he changed his scarf in his promo while talking shit about you at the same time. Um, MJF, in my opinion, is probably the most valuable person in pro wrestling right now because he can
Yes.
do everything at an elite level.
Yeah.
Like, you could talk about the greatest wrestlers of all time where we're just strictly talking about ring work. That list is going to be different than the greatest talkers of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you'd have to say the best overall. Who's just the best overall with a combination of everything mixed in? Who's the best to do it? Some guys are still going to be higher up on the list than other guys in the overall category, but MJF does everything at an elite level. And if he doesn't ever go to WWE, which I could see him never going there, it would almost be a shame that more people wouldn't get to see what he does.
Yeah. That's true. And not only that, how many times where you see a guy that cut a promo on his mom and his mom cut one on back on him? I mean, that's seriously skill. Um, yeah. So kind of today want to talk about the territories, but we lost track of time because we
Yeah,
talk
we'd
about
save for
MJF.
another day.
Yeah, we'll save for another day. I'm trying to pull up this tweet when he said about his mom. Oh, he called his mom a dumb, disgusting slut. And yeah, yeah, that was um, in 2021. In 2022, she called him a troublemaker, and she went to London with him for his big match, only to come back and said, "F you, son."
He just got into it a couple days ago, like obviously in character and stuff. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody else in AEW, but it was great. And now it's bothering me because I just read it like real quick. It popped up on my phone, and now I can't remember who it was. But yeah, he's a top tier talent. If he went to WWE, he would be one you would have to bypass NXT for. And he's almost at that level where you could justify him coming in day one and winning the title.
Yes, I think
Like
if
he's
he
that
ever
good.
if he ever decides to go to the WWE, and I don't think he will, but if he ever does, NXT, SmackDown, Raw, I agree, put the title on him right away.
Well, he would have to bypass NXT.
Yeah.
He would have to bypass NXT, and you would make an easy case for him to be day one champ.
Yes.
And I'm not
Yes.
talking like US or Intercontinental. I'm talking
No,
like
no, no. I'm talking world
WWE
champion.
champ. Yeah,
And just like they gave Rowan a damn near 5 year title run, yeah, let's give that to MJF, a guy at least who will be there full time,
a guy that could actually carry a promo and can carry a story with basically anybody out there.
and for a guy his size can carry a fucking match.
Hmm.
One of the best wrestlers out here. Oh,
Hmm.
so in 2021, his mom, I love this. His mom cut a promo on him and said he should be the face of birth control. Anytime your mom cut a promo on you and you going back on your mom, that's that's fucking great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for today. We'll be back. Well, Jamie will be back with me tomorrow because we're talking some basketball. And I'm just gonna give you guys a heads up. He don't like today's talent. He don't like today's talent. So that's why we're gonna be talking about tanking and load management. Because as a businessman himself, he got some few good insights that I think we all need to hear. And plus, he's a basketball fan, sort of. He's a fan of the yes he is. He's a fan of the players back in the day, like me. He don't like
I'm
today's
still a
players.
Cade fan because Cade doesn't do all the exploitation that every other player does. Cade actually plays basketball the way it was intended to be played, but
Yeah,
he actually takes
I,
two steps and then he shoots the ball. Like it's that kind of basketball.
yeah, 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 yeah. We Kate Cunningham. I need to get a Kate Cunningham jersey, and I need to get an Anthony Edwards jersey.
Cade Cunningham goes into New York drops 42 on them without Isaiah Stewart, without Jalen Duren, and sweeps the Knicks in the series or in the season series. And I think they won by what, 16 or something?
15.
15? Yeah.
15. And you know where I come from. I like it, but let's beat them when it matters.
I'm the
Are you
same
a
way.
Wemby fan?
I don't have anything against Wemby. It's just one of those. He's just given such an immeasurable advantage over everybody else that I don't go out of my way to cheer for him. Like,
Okay.
he's a foot taller than everybody else out there. You better be playing at a much higher level than everybody else out there. When you don't have to jump to dunk a basketball, you better score. Like, to me, he underperforms. And people say, oh, that's way too harsh. There's no reason he shouldn't be getting 40 plus a game. All you have to do is put him down low, but you can't because Joker can push him out of the way. The dude weighs like 180 pounds. There's no reason he shouldn't be scoring 40 plus points a game with his size. You
Mm.
put his ass in the weight room. Hey, you're eating 6,000 carbs a day or 6,000 calories a day, and you're going to go work out for an hour and a half to 2 hours a day and put on some muscle so that you don't get pushed out of the paint. You do that, you will score 45 to 50 points a game. You'll have 20 plus rebounds. You will average a double double for your entire career, and you'll go down as one of the best to ever do it. At the end of the day, he's probably going to end up shattering his femur at some point. He's going to have a short career, and it'll be a what was.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So we're gonna be with this one. I'm gonna ask you a question, but you gotta answer tomorrow. I want you to think about it, sleep on it,
Okay.
talk to the baby about it. Do you believe that the next great rivalry, team and individually, San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder, and Wimby versus Chet?
It's not
Think
a
not,
rivalry, though.
don't answer that. No, wait till tomorrow. Wait till tomorrow.
I mean, I can give you a full blown answer tomorrow, but it's not a rivalry when San Antonio kicks their ass every time they play. Like, it's not even close.
Okay. And but the chat and Wimby, I need an answer tomorrow.
Okay,
Because
that's fair.
Wimby hates him. Woo! Oh.
I mean, Chet Holmgren's one of those guys you could just look at and be like, I have a reason to hate you just by looking at you.
That's basically saying he got one of those punchable face.
Yeah, he's got a punchable face. Like, he's got that I'm just a dummy. Like, you look at him and you're like, this guy doesn't have a clue where he's at right now.
Uh, okay. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, he'll answer that question tomorrow. Tune in to WO Podcast tomorrow around the same time. You guys enjoy your Sunday. Go USA. We got gold. Shout out to Double J. Shout out to the original Double J. As she's probably taking her nap.
She
Um,
is.
okay. So this has been a Signature Adventure podcast, and we will see you guys Tuesday. Peace.
Later.